And you know, Free's really getting his value out with these Corsairs and kind of earning his economic loss back here after losing those buildings. It looks like he's going to go for a storm drop too, so I think if this is successful, Free can definitely swing this game around back into his favor, but he's going to need to get quite a few drones, and not only that, but he's probably going to need to keep the Templar alive too.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's where we really see the advantage of not... the advantage you get from building up those Corsairs is that it gives you air control and map control. It allows you to clear the overlords from around the map, and so that the Zerg doesn't have map vision everywhere. Because normally the Zerg, when they get Spire, they have Scourges out, and you can't just fly your Corsair around. And the Zerg is then able to place overlords all around the map. So if you try to drop, they're going to be able to see your drop coming and anticipate it. But if you have that air superiority, like Free does right now, it basically gives you free reign to drop. I mean, as you can see, there's a clear, huge pathway between his base and the expansion of Kwanro, where he can just run that shuttle in and get some storms off. I mean, even if he loses a Templar, if he kills a lot of drones, which he probably will because Kwanro won't see the drop coming in advance, then that's definitely worth it for him. And that's the reason you see good Zergs always getting that Spire down, is mostly to prevent, you know, losing air superiority and being harassed. I think Free is going to start taking advantage of that soon. I mean, he's already been clearing overlords from around the map, just like you need to do. He's been doing a great job of that, and now it looks like the shuttle is going out, so he is going to do some harassment here. I don't know where those drones were going. Did he get another base up? Oh, Free actually doing some good storms, going to do a little bit of micro to try to break out. But I think mostly what he's going to be focusing on is this Templar drop here, and it probably is going to do some damage. Oh, unless he gets spotted by those Hydralisks. Wow, that was some map hack Hydralisk. Oh man, that sucked. Well, I don't know what happened there. How did he know? Like, he just kind of moved those Hydras up there. Maybe he saw the Corsairs floating around and figured there would be a shuttle with them. But that's really bad for Free. I mean, Free was definitely relying on doing some damage there, and I really don't think Kwanro saw it coming in advance. So, I mean, he could have done a lot of damage. He just left his shuttle sitting there at the wrong moment, got a little bad luck. It's good storms here to try to break out, doing a lot of damage, losing his observer, but definitely getting his money's worth in terms of units. And Free's going to have a huge army when he breaks out here. I mean, this game is going to come down to Free breaking out and how much damage he's going to be able to do once he breaks out of this contain. It looks like a pretty strong contain here. Mostly he's going to go for the observer snipes, and he's getting the observers and holding him in, but just taking so much damage from these storms. He's getting it all chewed up. So when Free gets out here, he's definitely going to have the army advantage. And this game is going to come down to what he can do with that army once he gets it out to roam across the map.
Yeah, and you know, I think this is kind of a really interesting move here. We've seen both of these Protoss players do. Harangue 2 not so successfully, and it looks like to this point, Free not so successful either. And Overlord Scout there, actually with a lurker drop, and you know, really nicely placed cannon there. Kwanro trying to snuggle a spot there, and he actually found it. He's going to get some probes there. Nice moves there, right out of range of the cannon. So decent harass there, but it looks like Free going to take this opportunity to go out, pick some lurkers, and I think he's
going to break out here. Oh, come on, observer.
You know, oh, I can't tell if he's going to break out there. I mean, he really needs... Oh, Kwanro with some nice harassment. I think that lurker is... Oh my gosh, that's out of range of the cannon too. He's going to take a lot of probes out here. This is going to hurt Free. Now, Free's going to have a decent military here, and actually he's breaking out right now. Lots of dragoons. And this kind of hurts there. I mean, Kwanro has a very small Hydra force. I mean, he pretty much dedicated all of his resources to Overlord speed, Overlord drop, and lurkers, and he really doesn't have that large of a Hydra force. I mean, right now he has...
You know what, Free is not mining right now.
With 4 bases, and yeah, Free's going to be hurting. I mean, he's just now mining, and he can't even mine on his main base because he doesn't have any detection there. And Free is moving out now with his observer, and he's probably going to have to produce a few more here. And Free's going to have a military advantage here for a little while, but I mean, he's hurting in the long run. He's just hasn't even started his 3rd base at this point, while Kwanro has done quite a bit of economic damage, only on already on 4 bases. And Kwanro at this point is just going to be pumping upgrades, sticking on lair. I mean, he just needs to hold pretty much the next upcoming attack here from Free, and he's pretty much has this game won.
Yeah, I mean, Free, the onus is on Free right now. He has to do damage with this army. I mean, once you break out of his... Oh, wow, great storms by Free. Good Hydra dancing there to get out of the way, but it's not going to do him enough. There's just a huge army coming out for Free. And this is really how these games boil down here. I mean, it's all about this timing right now. What can Free do with this army? What can Kwanro do to prevent it? Kwanro definitely should have tried to delay a little longer before losing all those Hydralisks, and now he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble. He's lost most of his army, and Free still has that huge army roaming across the map. The only thing is Free used up a lot of storms there and morphed 2 Templars. He's going to have to get more Templars to back it up. He cannot afford to run out of storms against the constant stream of reinforcements that Kwanro is going to be able to send at him. I mean, he should be attacking some bases right now. I don't know what he's doing running across the map. He should have gone straight for that expansion. It looks like finally now he's going to be going there. Oh, intercepting these overlords. I really hope for Kwanro that those weren't full. But that's going to be a big pain in the ass. Free has a huge army. He's definitely going to be able to do some damage here. The only question is how much. And is he going to be able to get his 3rd base in the meantime? If he's able to take out one of Kwanro's expansions and he's able to take his 3rd base at the same time, he's going to be back in this game and he's going to have a solid advantage. He might even finish it right. But if he doesn't do damage with this army, then it's going to be game over for him. But I think he's definitely going to do some damage. I mean, this is so many units. His storms are really spot on. So many Dragoons. He definitely has to reinforce this army with Zealots, though. He can't get afford to lose to mass Zergling. Man, so many units left for Free. I mean, this massive ball of Dragoons and Archons and Templars is just really wreaking havoc on Kwanro. Just well played by Free. Good micro all around. I mean, even though he got himself in some bad spots, his control has been spot on. His storms have been great. His army spending has been great. And Kwanro is in a lot of trouble. I mean, Free didn't even go for the expansions. He's going right for the natural. And Kwanro cannot lose this. I mean, he cannot recover from losing this. If he had lost an expansion, he would still be in this game. But if he loses his main, loses 4 hatcheries and his tech, there's just no way that he's going to get back into this. And man, what an intense attack by Free. I mean, this is just really exciting. I don't know what the hell he's doing with those storms there. I think almost making fun of him at this point. But I mean, that's,
yeah, and such a nice unit mix there from Free, and I think part of what Kwanro tried to do there with the early lurkers with this build is kind of throw him off there a little bit. But I think Free just had such a strong unit mix, just in enough Dragoons to deal with the lurkers, but still had a lot of Zealots enough to, you know, kill the Hydras, and he's going to go for the main here. And I mean, this is, Kwanro's done. I mean, he just lost to a mid-game attack from the Protoss with a mid-game orientated build, and I'm surprised that he had so much gas to build so many lurkers. I mean, usually you see players stick to almost mass Hydras, and maybe he was trying to play off of, you know, the up and down, trying to build off of the ramps, but he never really did. He always fought Free, just like you said, and kind of like engaged in small areas where he just kind of got owned by Free, and he didn't really try and delay. He didn't really go for, you know, backing up on high ground or anything. He just kind of fought Free and just got slaughtered by his army, which, I mean, what do you expect if you engage in an army against Free? I mean, you're in a tough position.
Yeah.
He just kind of had poor unit mix, poor unit positioning, as opposed to Free, who just did everything right in that attack.
No, I mean, Free's unit control really just stands out. I mean, even compared to the other S-Class pro gamers, I mean, his storms in that game were basically flawless. I mean, that's what allowed him to have such a huge army, is that when he was breaking out, yeah, sure, he got delayed and he lost some observers, but in every exchange where he lost observer, he stormed the shit out of the Hydralisk. He took at least like 1 or 2 lurkers with him, and he lost basically no units. I mean, and then in every single engagement after that, I mean, his army control was perfect. He never got any Templar snipe. He always laid down storms instantaneously. I mean, really, what can you say? I mean, Kwanro, I don't even want to say that Kwanro played badly. I think Kwanro did a lot of things right. I think those lurker drops were a really great move. But just, I mean, he picked some bad fights that he should not have picked. He should have retreated, and what can you say? Free's control. I mean, showing why he's one of the 6 dragons, showing why he's a PvZ specialist. I mean, when you can storm like that, it's really insanely hard for Zergs to deal with it. I mean, Storm is probably the most imba spell in the game, and Free is just showing exactly how imba it can be. So, well done by him. It was a pretty good game, and I mean, just like we predicted, he pretty much tore his way through this group.
Yeah, you know, I guess,
just
like you said, I think Kwanro played pretty well. He definitely did some economic damage there, and, you know, Free definitely maybe had some problems that game, but I mean, just look, you know, throughout the whole game, Free kind of was behind with the cannons, just really, build extra cannons as main for Mutalis, didn't really go for his third base, let Kwanro build up a lot of units, and he just kind of beat it all with unit control. I mean, that's just like you said, the difference between an S-class pro gamer and just a regular, not regular pro gamer, but I mean, how excellent his unit control, his unit positioning, unit composition, just every attack timing, everything about that attack was just flawless, and that's, you don't always recognize stuff like that, but that's not something you see every day. Just an amazing, timed out, well, executed attack like that. And just like you said, I mean, that pretty much defines Free there as a player, and he knew pretty much going through the game that he had superior unit control. He was confident in his attack, and he just kind of controlled the game pretty well, even though it seemed like Kwanro was in control most of that game.
Yeah, I think even though it did seem that Kwanro had things going his way and he was in control, I mean, Free stayed calm and he had his game plan and he knew what he could do once he broke out, and he did it. I mean, he basically steamrolled him as soon as he, that's what it comes down to in these games 90% of the time. In a lurker-contained game, it's all what you can do with that first army. And, like, I don't think there's anybody out there in the world who can do more with his first army than Free can. So that's pretty much what happened in this game, and I don't think it really surprised either of us. And